They
What's wrong
believe
with
that.
that?
No, I don't think that there's something wrong with it. You got to be, you got to be willing to be part of the something, to join something. You know, you understand what I mean?
I get, well, you're kind of all over the place. I think we'd have to have a more pointed conversation about the not demographics, but like the dynamics in Sweden or
Hmm.
whatever. So,
No,
I
no, but
really don't want to.
I really like that you actually asked the question about how they look in people's ethnicities and their backgrounds. It's
Mhm.
actually they view it different here, you know, compared
Yeah,
to other.
that's
Yeah.
true. So back to okay. So Mr. IC3. So we'll get back to what we were
Yeah,
talking about. So
yeah, yeah.
I think
You
people.
answered the question.
Hold on. I think
Go on.
people are already identified in the West, especially if they're black. There's a classification system. People self-report what they are. So I don't think. So anyway, so we there's a clear delineation of like who black people are in the West. It's pretty clear cut, even though the line maybe have blurred a little bit. You can argue
Mhm.
that, but it's pretty clear cut. You can tell who a black person is.
Okay.
So,
Yeah.
uh, and so after, and so on that solution, we know black people have certain challenges in the West. Okay, we have infant
Right.
mortality numbers. We have mental health numbers that aren't good. Incarceration rates. Wealth, black home ownership. We know these things. Okay, so we know we have these challenges in the West. And the last thing we need to do is talk and to fix these things is talk about systematic racism. I think that's the last thing that needs to be discussed or prioritized to be talked about.
American
First thing,
tourism and
please don't cut
art.
me off. I'll be really quick. The first thing we need to talk, and all these things I talked about, the first thing we
Right.
need to be talking about is family formation and having people with good mental health getting with other people with good mental health and starting families, not who the baddest, who's the best. Because black people, we like to prioritize. She look good, he look good. Do they got money? Do they not got money? All that stuff that matters, but it's down the list of the matters. Like, is the man you want to get with stable? Does he have a job? What is it?
Well,
What are his beliefs? So what I'm saying
yeah.
is there we need holistic solutions that are here that we can implement. So
Well,
all these
well,
things that
brother.
are ailing us, we need to start from there. Go ahead.
Well, brother, the community who are synchronized have come up with a code of conduct. The elder ICP knows about this. The community in the UK and also in America, by the way, we formulated a code of conduct based upon principles to keep black people in line in how to connect with one another, to build up the community, and also to go against non-African people when they try to destabilize our unity. So we've already got that in check, brother. You know what I mean? And some of the things that you're speaking about, part of the code of conduct is you're supposed to, when it comes to meditation, whatever spiritual practice you are in, you must use that in order to kind of help you deal with, mental illnesses backed up by professional black psychiatry. So these things have already been implemented, but it's for us as a people to, follow and implement these principles for the best interest of our people.
I feel you.
So
Well,
sorry,
okay.
brother, but we don't even believe in mental health. Like in our families, we don't even believe that. It comes from like our traditional conservative household. We don't even believe in like someone can be mentally ill. How can we
Well, that
solve that
that
problem?
that may be people that are maybe too either superstitious or too stuck in their ways, which is it's a thing. Like the thing about it is you have to explain. Some people don't understand that your brain waves and your brain functions have like people's brain functions have actually been recorded. like like there's more about the human psyche that's being revealed year upon year a bit slowly, but if you can't convince these people that this stuff exist. And not saying you need to take everything, the newest thing in science, and say it's the truth, it's the gospel. You need to do everything a scientist say. I'm not
No, but
saying that.
these
So
people believe in.
let me finish.
Yeah,
So what I'm
that's
saying
fine.
is, people that are too stuck in their way, say if you have a father, and I'll just use this scenario. There's a father, he has a household, he's conservative, things are going pretty well, and there's a daughter that is suffering from mental health, but he refuses to believe the doctors or whatever, because they're stupid people with degrees or whatever, and there's evidence staring him in the face, and he's just being belligerent just because he wants to stick to his old tried and true methods. Then that's a case for finding a way to get this woman to other family members or some other support systems where she can get help. Because we have to talk about things like that, because yes, we can't have petty tyrants making people sick just because they're the head of the household or whatever. So there has to be things where you can fight against that. I don't know where I'm going with that, but there,
I will say, to answer brother Andre's question, is that anything that is two extremes. So imagine there is two extremes, in anything that you do. For example, when it comes to feeling sad, happy, upset, basically having codes to balance that. So it's inevitable that you're going to be tested in this life with wealth, etc. and that. So what we're proposing for black people, the codes of conduct with strategies and techniques, is that if you're inflicted with any form of calamity, right, try your best to be balanced, whether you're crying or angry about it. Just have a bit of self-control and discipline by not being too extreme to the left and too extreme to the right. And that's what we're referring to. If you don't want to use the term mental health, but that's what we're referring to, being balanced in regards to however you're feeling towards whatever calamities hit you, if that makes any sense.
It does, but we're talking about mental health, but compared to other races, black people have the lowest suicide. The suicide thing. But we have more suicide in the West compared to being in Africa. But I don't know. Maybe that's being part of a different society that operates differently.
I will say to you, brother Andre, is that I agree with you when it comes to the suicide rate. However, we can say as a people, brother, when we're dealing with reparation, it's repairing the mind back. There is something with our minds, brother, on the continent and the diaspora that we haven't understood, that there are groups of people, right, who have an unethical code of conduct to deny or control your human rights. And they will use this unethical code of conduct with the face expression, the body language, the mannerism, right? And to make you believe that our reality of not being together to sort our problems is a bad thing. They will make you believe that nationalism is a bad thing. They will make you believe that you wanting to marry with the black woman, a synchronized black woman or a synchronized black man, it's a bad thing. So anything to do with that, brother, and we affirm these things, by definition, we need repairing. Just like when it comes to religion. I'm not attacking anyone's religion and that, right? However, if you are believing, or it's a problem for you accepting, that these religions came out of Africa and it must have an African center to help with your mind, backed up with getting economics and security for people, then you need to be, your mind needs to be repaired. Now, this happens on the continent, brother. Unfortunately, we have been colonialized. So we need to repair from this, as what Kwame Nkrumah made it perfectly clear, in his book called Neo-Colonization, The Last Stage. He made it
man who
perfectly clear
married a
that
white
we suffer
woman.
with that. Say that again, sorry.
No,
The
no,
man
no,
who married a white woman.
He did not marry a white woman.
No, he didn't marry
He just
a
had
European
sex with
woman.
them and cohabitated, right?
He married an Egyptian woman.
A white woman.
No, she's
Nevertheless,
African. She's African,
well,
brother.
but nevertheless,
White
brother,
African, gotcha.
I hear where you're coming from, brother. However, we focus on the blueprint of what they lay down. You understand, brother? Because the white supremacist, brother, the ancestors who formulated white supremacy, bro, they're all dead, brother, and their descendants are marrying with us where their ancestors will disagree, but they're still uplifting the code of conduct for their white supremacism. So we deal with the blueprint. But I do understand what you mean, though,
Oh
bro.
my
I take
God.
that
Well, I'm
into
just saying,
consideration.
like, I'm just, I get kind of just, I'm just going to be honest. When people start using the term white supremacy, when a lot of our problems are not white supremacy, it makes me very suspicious of you. And I'm not saying you have anything insidious. Well, here's where I'm going. What I'm saying is most of our problems with black people in the West are self-induced. Before we can say there's some systems or white people actually holding us back, we do more to hold ourselves back than anything. So when people start talking about systems of white supremacy, that lets me know you're going to let folks off the hook for our own bad behavior. Like I said, the last thing we need to be talking about is white
Mm,
supremacy and white racism, and we need to talk
mm,
about families more than anything.
mm.
So you need to get that. I'm just going to be honest. You need to get that out of your lexicon and start talking about what we can do, how we
Okay.
can do, and what we do, not what
Uh,
they, them, and all white people.
He, brother, here's the thing, brother. In no conversation have I spoke about what the non-Africans can do, brother. You can replay the clip. I have not
You
mentioned
keep
what they can
talking
do for us.
about white
Hold on,
supremacy,
brother.
sir.
Brother, if you can allow me to finish, brother. I identify with the political code of unethical code of conduct. That's what I use, brother. You see what I'm saying? Because unethical code of conduct puts more detail to what we're dealing with.
Okay,
Everybody has a
what's
code of
this
conduct.
unethical code of conduct, sir?
This unethical code of conduct, right, is set of principles psychologically, mentally, and physically to keep black people in a position, right, to make them feel inferior towards solving their own problems, right? So what I'm saying is that yes, half of the problem is our fault, and I do agree with that. However, brother, politically, you have to know your opposition to able to codify in order for us as a people to identify if they do decide to interfere with you repairing yourself, then these are the things you got to look out for. And this is political strategies, brother. There's nothing wrong with that.
I'm gonna level with you. You're still using. You're not using maybe the words, but you're still talking about white supremacy is at fault for our problems. Even though you said half. You said half, even though it's more than half. It's way more than half. Uh, you still talk about systems holding us back, which there's no. You still okay? Where's the blueprint of this white supremacy that is holding black people back? Like, where's this blueprint? You said unethical code of conduct. There has to be a written down thing, a conference or something that they can get other nefarious actors on their code of conduct to slow us down. So where's this code of
yeah.
conduct, sir?
Good question. But I think one man went to Mo is going to come in, and then I'll try and.
Shout out to that dude.
One
Want to
man
say
went to Mo.
something? Does the guy want to say something? One man went to Mo. Does he want to say something? Or
You want to say something?
No. He's good. He's good. He's just controlling.
Oh right.
Okay. Well, so I'm just saying, like,
Yeah.
you're still using this
Mm.
innocuous, white supremacy stuff, and
All
like I
right.
said, like if this was
Let's
40,
try a
50,
new
60
angle.
years ago, well, I'm
We
just
got
saying, no,
it.
no,
We
I'm
got it.
just saying, if it was 50, 60, 70 years ago, I
Yeah.
would be more inclined to believe and agree with you. But
Yes.
there's no where black people are given opportunities, literally
And
there
now,
was affirmative action and all that to
Yeah.
get us into schools and all that. So
yeah.
I'm just sorry, like real supremacists don't give you
Mm.
close proximity to their spaces.
Now, brother,
Wait.
this is where we disagree, brother, because you're mentioning something to do with if it was
White
centuries ago.
supremacy is apartheid,
Hold on,
sir. That's white
brother,
supremacy.
if you can allow me to finish, brother, right? But what I'm trying to explain to you, brother, is that when you understand political science of the ice people, brother, is that
The
their
ice people? Who are
whole
the ice people?
mindset. I'm
Who are
gonna
the
go
ice
into it,
people?
brother. The ice people are those of the European background,
Why don't you
right?
just say European and stop name calling like a
And
child? Just say European.
I'll tell you why I use the ice mindset, because it's a temperament that helps black people to identify that these groups are not the same as your temperament. If you go by European and white, etc., it doesn't bring detail to
But
how
that's
they
what they are.
operate.
They're European,
No, no,
sir.
no. Hold on. But the European doesn't define their temperament. Because if you go to a European, and the European is not going to say, oh, this is how we operate. We're going to do these things to black people, etc. No, they're going to say that we're a European who believes in unity, etc. It's in the flags, by the way, right? What I'm saying is
Okay,
when we
you're all over the
use,
place, bro. You're all over the place.
I'm not all over the
Yes,
place
you
at
are.
all,
Yes,
brother.
you are.
Because
Yes, you are.
because when we're dealing with political science, brother, you must identify characteristics. If
Okay.
you believe, brother, if you allow me to finish, right? If you believe that we're all the same and we go
I
by
didn't say
certain
anything
labels
like
like you, brother, if you can allow me to finish, I listen to you, I allow you to finish, brother. Black people must use political codes to identify the human family and to recognize that these temperaments is not the same as our temperament. You just said, brother, that we're in an era where we can kind of go to college, etc., and blah, blah, blah. But then you were talking to brother Andre about you didn't understand why the Europeans allow other ethnicities into their countries. But this is historical,
I
my brother.
understand why it's called globalism, sir.
Brother. Because when they let people into the countries, brother, first of all, it's to build up their country, right? Because they've always used immigration all the time. And the second thing is to have ties in their country. You see, brother? So it's nothing to do with them having their best interests or allowing us to go into school. No, brother. If they can get us in their schools and their education, brother, that means they can project in our minds that you could be loyal to us and not loyal to your country. And this is why we're in the situation that we are, which is why we need codes of conduct to break that, to be able to go into their institutions and then build up our institutions as black people.
Okay, can I thank you, Ken. Here's the problem with what you're saying. There's already, like, what you just described is what Asians and Hispanics are doing in America. They're making their own neighborhoods, they're putting their own political representatives into office that look out for their interests when they go to Congress and the Senate. There are already people doing that are non-white. So all this stuff you're saying is mostly BS. But here, I'll elaborate further. And then you started talking about politics and political codes and flags and all this stuff. That's another thing. You are unfortunately all over the place. You're not staying on one thing and start talking on one thing. That's what's confusing about talking to you blackity blacks. I'm sorry. I'm just going to say you're a blackity black because you focused more on white people than you do on black people. And I'm just going to say it like that because you kept talking about ice people and their temperament and all. What does ice people and temperament have to do with black people having the ability to pay politicians as representatives? Because you can do that in the parliament as well in the UK to look after your interests. The Indians aren't having a problem doing that. The Asians aren't having a problem doing that. And other people aren't having a problem doing it. I'm talking mostly about America. I can't really speak to everything the UK and their system does. But so what you're saying is, like, especially once the white man gave non-white people access in even leadership roles in their institutions, they all hold on, let me finish real quick and I'll let you talk, bro.
Well, can you hear me though? I'm just
yes, I hear you. Yes, but hold on. Stop talking.
Hold on 1 microsecond. My audio has been off for the last day or so.
Oh my freaking god, dude, let me finish, man.
All right, sorry, carry on.
Golly. Like, can you hear me? Yes. Okay. Anyway,
why don't you just settle down? Why are you always on the temper? Are you on uppers and downers or something?
Okay, I'm sorry. I apologize. Sorry. God damn. Anyway, last thing I'm gonna say, I'm landing a plane because it was butchered by y'all blackity blacks. Anyway, look, you're just giving excuses. Black people, if we worked together and we didn't hate each other in the West, we would have more than we have. But when people go to Congress in America that are black, they look out for they look out for illegal immigrants, they're pro-abortion, and they're anti-black people having guns to defend themselves against white supremacists. So literally the very things that they go to office, like the Congressional Black Caucus and all these political institutions that black people run, in the white man system, they do things that disadvantages ourselves. So excuse. Black people in the West are our own worst enemy. You need to stop talking about white supremacy and stop talking about white people doing this. When literally the white man says, "Here's the open door to my institutions. Go at it."
Now, brother, I've made it perfectly in the beginning. There are synchronized Africans and unsynchronized Africa. I made myself perfectly in the beginning, brother. You see? Now, when we're dealing with what you talked about coalition, in the code of conduct, brother, we have them things in there. You see, because it's part of politics. You see? The problem is that when we were discussing, you had a problem when it comes to one that you call them Europeans, right? And what you failed to realize, brother, is that black people under the identity, as what Andre was saying, can be classed as a European as well. You can be classed as British. You can be classed as Swedish. You can be classed as American. But that doesn't define the other ethnicities how to decode them. And that's why we use labels like ice people, mountain people, sand people, because although we're under the country and the label America and UK and that, the temperament never changes. But I do agree with you, brother. We should sort out our problems and discuss amongst each other and focus on the issue, which is why we have synchronized and unsynchronized, all due respect here.
Okay, can I come in?
That was one of the dumbest things. Real quick, Miss IC3, and I'm gonna shut up. Besides the last little bit, that was some of the dumbest things I've ever heard somebody say. The temperament, your temperament is who you are as a person and your upbringing and genetics, all that stuff together. But in culture and all that. But it's weird that you say temperament. For one, if you're a black person and you're raised in a Eurocentric place, say if your family, you're black, right? And your family's been in a white European country for like 200-300 years, and you're literally raised in as an Anglo-Saxon, pretty much as much as possible. It would be close. It would be good to say, or it would be normal to say that your temperament would be what the people are there, the normal temperament.
Okay,
hold on. Sorry, here's where you've messed up, brother. Unfortunately, brother, you've just said if you're raised amongst the Europeans, that you're naturally gonna have their temperament. Asian people, mountain people, brother. Hold on, brother. If you can allow me to finish, brother. If you can allow me to finish, brother.
No. I did not use that word.
Brother, if you can allow me to finish, brother. Where's the discipline, brother? Brother Rifle, all due respect to you, brother, right? I come here, brother, to connect with my people. I am not here to be horrible or anything like that, but we're just having a dialogue, right? I'm telling you, brother.
Not about what I said, sir.
Brother, with proven evidence, brother. With proven evidence. We have the mountain people, brother, who are Asian people that have learned from the Europeans, but have the ability to keep their temperament and culture to benefit theirs. So this is what, brother, remember, we're using decoder terms to separate those who claim that we're all from the same human family. And I'm saying, brother, is that these other communities will be in the West, right? They will learn from the Europeans' institution and still keep their temperament to better their people. So you're false on that, brother. Unfortunately, it's being refuted, all due respect here.
Okay, go ahead, Mr. IC3. I'm done. This Negro's a blackity.
Oh no, we're just beginning. Hold it. We're just beginning. So what we're going to do now, because I always like to focus on solutions. So I present my solution.
What the solution is? We need a black fascist that'll put in line to do the right thing.
One second.
Paul Kagame.
Let's walk. You know, we put a solution on the table, and then we all look at the solution and examine it and criticize it, and see its strong points and weak points. So we're going to put your solution on the table, and then we're going to walk through it. Let's walk through it. We're not going to criticize it. We're just going to walk through it and understand the big picture as you see it, and then we can ask questions afterwards. So if I understand from what you said earlier on, because you said you had the solution, which I love when people talk like that. We got something right. The solution is that black people, this is what I understood you saying, black people need to stick to a code of conduct, some rules, and then there should be punishments if black people don't stick to those rules. Is that correct?
Yes, there
Okay,
needs
okay, all right.
yes.
All right, good. All right, so let's walk. So the next step then we asked how to identify the group, who's in and who is out. Then you said that in the West, black people are quite clearly defined. So by saying that, would you say we can use the already established race and ethnicity coding system to define black people in the West? And then would we have to export that identification system to the other parts of the world as we walk through your solution? Would we have to export that clarity of blackness to the rest of the world?
I didn't understand. I'm sorry.
Okay, so you said black people have to abide by some rules or codification in order to progress. Then I asked about defining black people precisely, so we know who is black and who is not. So we've got to be able to define the group that is expected to follow the code of conduct.
And I said you can't pay your taxes in the West without being classified by race. Like I don't really know where you keep going with this.
Yeah, okay, we got that point. So, yes, yeah. So you're talking about the West. So I'm saying, can these principles be exported to the rest of the world? Your solution, it sounds good for the West, but can your solution also be applied to the rest of the world?
Well, I mean, everywhere has laws and a rules-based system where they live. So some at varying degrees. So if they have rules and laws where that country is, where black people are, people need to adhere to those rules and laws, especially if they're for the greater good. So there you go. That's the solution.
Right. Okay. So so basically, people just should follow the law wherever they are, and black people likewise should follow the rules of the law of wherever they're living in the world, and then they'll get
Especially
on.
if they're helping your people progress, like I'll use Rwanda, the tired example.
Yeah.
They have expectations of their people, and if they don't fulfill those, there's going to be trouble.
Okay.
And I think that's a good thing.
Okay. So I'm kind of getting a picture in your head now of the solution model. All right. Now, in order to get black people to be more law abiding internationally, because I think that's what you're saying fundamentally, if black people, wherever they are, if they're more law abiding citizens, then black people as a whole would improve throughout the world.
Yeah, well, let's not let black women run neighborhoods anymore. That would be a start. I
Okay.
think I'm joking.
Okay, hold it. All right. So now we're going to.
And I'm talking about the West. I'm talking about
Okay,
the
you're not talking about the West. You're saying.
I'm talking about the West.
All right. Okay. Good.
Because the thing about it is, I think it's more constructive for me to talk about the West than about what Africans need to do,
yeah,
or whatever. So that's why I'm trying to keep it to the West.
Yeah. Okay. So we'll stay within the West. So, are you saying that black women in the West are fundamentally incompetent at running neighborhoods?
Yes, because you see the results.
Okay. And I suspect that you're likely to come up to some resistance in the West
That's fine.
as some may believe that
Because
they
stupid
might use
white
the
men
word
pass
sex. Is
laws
that
for
correct?
them. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm saying that those black people who follow your solution have a strong chance of coming up against resistance in the West as being not law abiding, in that they may be being accused of being sexist if they follow along what you've just said there.
That's fine. Sexism isn't 1,000% illegal yet. It's like 100% illegal.
Okay, okay, right. So following your thing, for black people to improve in the West,
They
they
need
have
the
to be
black family.
they have to be more law-abiding citizens. But
Yes,
what you're saying there,
exactly. Law abiding. They need to be more law abiding. They need more families, and I think that's going to be a better solution. It's not going to be the end all be all, but it's a better solution than defund the police and getting a check from the white man. Like
okay, okay,
that's like you Negroes that really think getting a check from the white man is going to make all our problems go away. Like,
okay, okay, okay. So I'm following the model now. I'm following the model. So by improving and supporting the black family, the woman would then be using her time to look after the family and focus on family issues, and therefore leave the men to do the manly thing, like run
well, I mean,
neighborhoods.
I'm not even going to say like the manly thing. It's just how things run efficiently in the world. Like, let's just keep it 100. And also, too, it benefits black women as well. It
Yeah,
offers them the protection that they be crying that they want so much. So,
right,
unfortunately for them, they're going to have to make a choice. You either get the protection, or you can't do both. You can't
right.
say
Yeah,
I can be the independent woman, god body,
yeah,
girl boss woman, and get and do the things that men can do, and then at the same time be like, men got to protect me and provide. So
right.
they have to
Okay,
make a choice.
right. Okay. So I see that I'm beginning to get an idea of the model now. So basically, um, support the black family, right? The increase, yeah, a law-abiding black family, that would improve the status of black people, not only in the West but internationally. Okay, so I imagine that your marketing campaign now would be the promotion of the black family. Is that correct?
Of course.
Okay, and that would be the focus.
Yeah, but there's
Promoting.
a demographic that doesn't want families, though.
Pardon?
There's a key demographic of black people that don't want families, though.
Okay, so um, what would be your suggestion of how to deal with those key demographic of black people that don't want black family?
I'm sorry, say that again.
What would you suggest should be done with those key demographic of black people who are against the
Oh,
betterment of black
them to
families?
their own devices.
Pardon?
Leave them to their own devices.
Right. Okay. 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 Um. Now, leave it. Okay. So leave them to their own devices. So now let's focus on the black family as a solution. What would you suggest is the best way to strengthen the black family?
Stop voting Democrat or stop voting for progressives. Vote for more traditional or conservative candidates, because they more than likely, depending on your country or state, they're going to incentivize things for family formation, i.e., child tax credits, or low or no taxes for families, or house house buying for first time family buyers, stuff like that. There's incentives for families that can make family formation a lot easier and not as financially burdensome for a young family.
Ah, Okay, so so your solution would be that the people that are black family or believe in black family betterment should organize themselves together and then leverage their voting power.
Yes, but black women want to. They put abortion on the ballot. The last election, and black women in droves voted for the white man that said, "I'll kill your black baby," and with government money.
Okay, okay,
If I don't laugh, I'm gonna cry, bro.
right. Okay, so therefore,
All right. Make that point, and then let Al come in. Let Al come in after you've made that point. I say three.
okay. So I understand from what you're saying, the solution that you're presenting that you're putting on the table for us to discuss is to improve the black family and to keep women out of the voting. About
I
out of the
did not
voting.
say that. I didn't say that.
But yeah, is that correct or is it wrong? No, I didn't say what you said, but I'm asking you if what I said.
I didn't say anything about women not voting or shouldn't vote or anything. I just said that they unfortunately voted for somebody that said they will kill your black baby and will use government money to do it.
Okay. Okay. All
So
right.
these
So
are
Al,
people who obviously are not pro family.
yeah. All right. I'll let Al speak. I think before I explore a bit more.
Sorry, I'm
Go
just
on,
at the
Al.
door. I'm just at the door of my child nursery. 1 second. Just carry on. Just give me 2 minutes, yeah? Sorry, I
Okay.
apologize.
All right then. So American First Rifleman. So we're exploring your solution. So okay. So the black family. Promote the black family and promote the black family getting involved in the democratic process. Now, in order for the black family to vote effectively, would you suggest that there should be the black families should come together as a group or as a party or what? How can they leverage the voting system in your plan, in your solution plan?
I mean, they just have to get with a political party that's literally going to say, you know, if you are a black business owner, we're going to let you keep more money that you earn and not tax you to death or tax your business out of existence. You
Yeah,
know,
when you say get with the political party, do you mean that the black families should form their own political party, or black families should choose a political party?
well, they
that
just need to form an actual coherent voting block, which I mean, we really do already have a coherent voting block, and it votes Democrat. So we show that we can organize and get together and vote. We just vote for the same people that don't have to fight for a vote and actually never give us anything. So, you know, like black folks know how to vote. We do. We just vote for some white people that let us drink milkshakes with them. I don't 60, 70 years ago, you know, like
right. Okay, so black people aren't voting well. So what would be your solution to that?
well,
Black family.
make the political party that you currently vote for earn your vote. So it's just like the thing about the boyfriend and girlfriend that are on hard times, and the boyfriend keeps saying, you know, I'm gonna leave, 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 because you're doing this, and the girlfriend is gonna keep doing that because you never leave. But when the guy actually leaves for 2 days and doesn't say anything, and then comes back to the house, then that makes that threat more real. So
Right, okay.
same thing with black people's vote. Withhold your vote or vote for somebody else for like an election or two, and I guarantee you, the other people will be like, "What do you want? We'll do what you want." It's that simple.
Okay. So
Okay. I am back now, so I don't know if you guys
Oh, go
still
ahead.
got. First of all, good afternoon, one man, guys. To my bosses. Well, good afternoon to everyone else. American First Rifleman. I'm surprised you haven't shoot me yet. You know, I'm still waiting for this.
I don't do that to people. For one, that's illegal and not
Because
ethical.
you wanted to nuke me and my people and wipe us out. So I'm still here.
I never said that.
But yeah, IC3, I'm back. I was chatting to the to my people earlier. I apologize, IC3, I just cut you off. But yeah, regarding this topic, it's not as easy as we're trying to make it to look like, to be honest, because there's one constituent American First Riflemen tend to ignore. It's the same problem that the West been ignoring for years, which is you cannot ignore one set of the society to fix the other, because that one set that you just ignored, those that you think, oh, just because they're the wrong type, we don't need them. Yeah, this will be the same people that will come and destroy whatever you build. So you can't ignore one set, and I think I totally disagree.
More specific, can you tell me ignore who?
Yeah, like basically, those kids in the hood that's causing problem, yeah, or those that don't want to mingle, those that don't want to come in. We have to find a way. We have to find a way to actually get them in our system, right? You have to get them to.
Are you trying to break into a car right there? What's going on? Should we call the
police? Yeah. One man, that's the roadman style there, one man. How do you know? One man is on it, Lord.
The cop knows his racial codes when he comes and interacts with you.
Say that again?
Hopefully the cop knows his racial codes when he interacts with you for stealing that car.
Oh, yes. So exactly. So, when we talk about racism earlier, I'm not one of those people that will play the race card all the time, but we can't ignore the fact that there is institutional racism. We need to point out that's actually affecting some of our people, some of our children.
No, Rafferman won't agree with you, Al. He won't agree with you on that.
Give me the information.
You have to. You have no choice.
Please, I'm not trying to be a douche, but please educate me out. What institution how are they systematically racist against black people? Please explain.
Right. Institutional racism is when the system that's supposed to look after you.
No, I know what. Tell me what institution and how are they doing it? I'm curious about.
Okay, I'll give you an example. The police is one institution in the UK. Yeah, they have found themselves. Right. This is not coming from me. All right. So it's not coming from dusty African that come over here trying to complain. Yeah, it's coming from the horse's mouth. The people that are doing the actions against the black children in London and the UK have admitted the institution is racist. So what evidence do you need?
Black kids are carrying around swords in their fucking pants.
Let me tell you one thing, yeah. You actually assume a lot that it's only black kids doing the crime in the UK.
Hold on. I'm not
only black kids selling drugs in the UK.
Hold on. I'm not saying only black people are doing it.
That's a fallacy. Because the reality
is only black people are doing it. But what I'm saying is black people are still committing knife crimes and then crying about the police interacting with them. So I really don't understand it. And plus also, there was an institution that's systematically racist. Why did not 100,000 black people or 200,000 black people join the police force and take the bitch over? Because I'll use an example.
I want you to pull a recent report. Hang on a minute.
An example. Can I use an example very quickly? In America, there were the British, the Anglo-Saxons that had Irish people coming over and Eastern Europeans coming over into America that they discriminated against. They would attack and do a whole bunch of BS to them. And what did they do? The Irish people, they all joined the police force and took that bitch over because it was a job that a lot of people kind of didn't want to do at the time. So they took jobs that other people thought that were below them, and they took over that and they made it an institution. It wasn't really an institution like that at that time. The Irish people took it over and made it an institution, so they couldn't be ignored. And the black people can do the same thing. There's several institutions in the UK that black people can consciously walk into and take over by sheer numbers. And I'll give you an example.
Honestly, you seriously don't know what you're talking about.
One last example, and I'll stop talking, and I'll land the plane. In America, we have the Border Patrol. The Border Patrol's 70% Hispanic. That you can't. There's no racial quotas. There's no anybody who wants to join the Border Patrol just needs to just qualify and just get in the Border Patrol. That's all you got to do. Why did 70% of Hispanics join the Border Patrol? You know what I'm saying? So they went and did that themselves. Black people can do the same thing. So I'm just saying. So that's a remedy for their racism, for that institution's racism. You have the free will, because when I went to London or when I went to England, Black people were on a metropolitan police force. Why aren't there more? So, and I'll land the plane.
Good. I'm glad that you brought that, because you kind of shoot yourself right on the foot there. If you try to go online right now, you see the report that came this month, not last month, not last year, this month, that shows not only the Metropolitan Police, the Avon and Somerset Police that represent my area. This is like printed all over the newspapers, and West Midlands Police in Birmingham, yeah, and most of this police force have proportionally discriminated on recruiting people of color, which is Black and Asian officers, in their force. And it actually took some special report, because it's like their body and the union does actually bring this report out, and they find the report really disturbing, right? They find it really disturbing. So
did you join the police force too? This is disturbing. This is really disturbing. Did you try to join too?
No, but what I'm trying to say.
Why didn't you try to join?
No, don't shift the problem. Don't shift the problem. No. Can you be quiet when I finish? Can you be quiet? Let me just finish. Because you just listen, right? You said in your own mouth that why can't Black people and join the police force, just like how Mexican joined the border force in America. I'm telling you, what you don't understand is the UK is a land of native, America is a land of immigrants. So you are comparing two different kettle of fish, right? So this country here, yeah, they feel differently towards their country to how Americans feel towards America. And for them to allow people of outside into the institution, yeah, sometimes it's totally impossible. It's only recently those Black police officers that you see, those we call them token Blacks, yeah.
So why aren't you joining and being a part of the solution? Since it's a problem, since they try to stop, how come you?
Listen, I don't want to be.
Hold on. Why aren't you the closest Black friend joining the police?
The job that I do.
Okay, it's okay. What about the police auxiliary forces? What about auxiliary? Exactly.
Auxiliary force. I'm talking about all the. Listen, right? The police force in the UK. They have the report,
but you're just trying to preemptively come up with another excuse. You came up with the one main institution.
I'm giving you an example. I'm giving you an example because you're losing the battle. You're trying to shift the goalposts. Because it doesn't fit your narrative. I'm telling you.
Denying it. Okay, you proved your point.
No, I haven't. You keep distracting me. You keep distracting me. As soon as you start losing the conversation,
is to join them and take them over, which you still can do, because you and 5 of your closest Black friends and 100 Black youth or 1,000 Black youths, you all need to implement a system where you can get 1,000, 2,000, 10,000 young Black kids to apply for the police force.
Oh my God!
They can't turn the wrong way, and you know they can't do that. And you know they can't do that.
Are you listening?
No, y'all always say, "Oh, it's not that easy. It's not that easy." It is that easy. You just don't want to do it. I want to complain.
I just. Can I
suggest something here?
Yeah.
I think there's the foundation of our position. We each have a position. Now, I understand America First Rifleman. His position is he has faith. Correct me if I'm wrong. He has faith in the system. He has faith that you can use a democratic process.
Listen,
He
I
has
have
faith.
faith. I have faith. I'm going to be a billionaire one day. It doesn't mean I'm going to be a billionaire, is it?
Yeah,
Let's be
yeah, but
realistic.
let's
Thank
get.
you.
Yeah, I'm gonna give you. I'm gonna state my position, and I'm gonna state America Rifleman's position, and I'm gonna set the contrast. My position is that I have lost faith in the democratic process, and in joining any of the institutions and changing them from within. From within. That's my position. So my solution is going to come from that position. America's first rifleman, his position is different. His position is that he believes you can join the police and change them from within, take it over, or you can get involved with the democratic process and bring about change that way. So he has faith. He still has faith within the established system. So I understand his solution. His solution does make sense from his position, from where he's standing. So I do understand it. But because
Um,
I'm not in,
yeah,
I don't
yeah.
have, I've lost faith in the democratic process, and I do not trust any of the systems. I cannot. His solution would not. I couldn't work with his solution. So
Count
Right,
despair 101. See, you
right,
Negroes
right,
prove my point
I'm
every
not
time.
despaired.
So
No, you are despaired. I'm not despaired.
right. Okay, you finished. IC3, you finished.
Yeah, yeah.
Because I'm gonna come to you, right? Did you remember when Boris Johnson got elected as a prime minister? What was one of his pledges? Yeah, yeah. What was one of his pledges? Where I'm gonna build 20 or 40 hospitals, and I'm gonna recruit over 200,000 police officers. Because what happened is we had the former Home Secretary Theresa May. When she
Hmm.
came in, she brought one Windrush, and the second thing she did, she had a war with the police, right? Because she had to cut the police force because there was no money there, right? When the Conservative came to power,
Right.
and then when Boris Johnson came, you know, just before the Brexit, when he came and finalized Brexit, yeah,
Hmm.
around 2019-20, his pledge was he is going to recruit extra 200,000 or something like that officers to replace those that was dismissed by the force, right? And I remember it
Yeah.
vaguely. So this recruitment process has been going on until today, right? Because what happened is in fact, first of all, they've been recruiting officers without vetting them properly, into the police force, and because we know exactly what happened with Sarah Everard and some of the the police violation in the UK over the years, and they actually realized some of these officers been recruited without going through the proper vet, yeah, and also the last report that came out this month is a report that says, right, the the amount of black and Asian people that have applied for the job that actually are overqualified for the job that have been turned down is quite shocking, and the amount of people that have been taken, into the role, from the black and ethnic minority, it was a shocking figure. They can't believe how this amount of qualified application that they see, because these people are transparent. They're going to go into the applications and see why they were refused and why those who were successful, why they was admitted, right? So when they
Right.
look at it, they can see that the police is institutionally biased against black, not only black people, right, black and Asian
Right.
applicants. Yeah, that's what the case was about. It's about the applicant, that not been actually, accepted in the force, even though they're actually way overqualified and qualified for the job, and also they are employing their own, they're actually not being vetted properly, and this is coming out because some of these officers that they're recruiting under the force that's not been vetted properly. They are doing some criminal things and they be getting caught. And when they dig into it, they realize this guy shouldn't actually been recruited at the first place. So it's bias. You're gonna find bias in every nation that you go, unless you're so dumb. These people, they are actually like that. That's how they operate. However, you as a person from the outside, if they see, you have their interest full at heart, you're going to come in, you're going to do the job that they want you to do, you're going to be representing their interest in the force, they're more likely to recruit you in there. You're not going to be going in there thinking you're going to be going there to defend the black people, that's committing the crime, or black people actually, you're going to prioritize, black neighborhoods on your behalf, because the priorities will be coming from the head anyway. Simple as that. So
yeah, good point. Good point.
So
Yeah.
at the end of the day, yeah, American First Rifleman, I think your the way you analyze things is very simple and very premature. And I think you actually generalize things. You take things. You basically you think of one solution for every problem, and that's not the way you solve problems.
So will you agree with me, American First Rifleman, that your position is that you still have faith in the systems and that they can be used?
It's not faith in the systems. The systems are the system. They are there. They have varying controls over your life, or they impact your life because they're agents of the state, and we live in nations. So that's what it is. So all this other stuff, like, you got faith, don't faith, it don't matter if you have faith or not. The system's going to go there and it's going to impact your life. So my thing is, and you say it's a simple, you analyze these things as simple things, they are relatively not complicated, because like I said, if those reports did come out that the police forces are systematically racist in their hiring, which America went through the same thing like 20-30 years ago, and they corrected those. Now you got black female police captains, fire captains, all these public service employees or whatever now all over America. So all you have to do is keep applying. All the black people, like I said, y'all need to, in the UK, if this is so shocking to you, you should do this, is start up a program that try to recruit the black youth into the police. Once
So,
they're up,
can I-
one
King Scale,
one of my
can we
best
get-
friends,
can we go back to what
I grew
King Scale was
up in
saying?
the city.
Stop cutting.
I grew
So
up.
hold on. So
Sorry.
what I'm saying is,
Sorry.
y'all can talk about this is shocking and it's systematically racist or whatever, but you're talking to me, yelling at me, talking about I believe I have faith in the system and all that. But why aren't you taking the system over? Instead of being like IC3 saying, I don't trust it, it's corrupt, and I'm not going to deal with it and all this other stuff. But then on the back end, complain about how corrupt and everything is, impacts your life. So what I'm saying is, you need to start a program. You and your closest black people either join the police force yourself or push other black people younger to be a new generation there to make things better. Other than that,
American First Rifleman. The only problem, listen to me, my brother. The only problem I actually will agree with you in some kind of way, different angle here, is the culture of the black population in the UK over the years. It was this anti-police rhetoric where I know one of my best friends. I got 3 friends in my city that I grew up with. One of them, mom, is a senior police officer in this town that I live in. Yeah, she's nearly coming to her retirement. She actually joined the force to make things better for the people of her own, because she's from Jamaica, right? Basically, over the years, my friend was treated so bad by his own community, by the black community, because his mom was a police officer. He did not choose his mom. You don't choose who your mom is or who your dad is. But he was targeted so many times and treated by our own black community, right? Because his mom is a police officer.
So is that white supremacy, or is that our problem?
No. This is what I'm coming to your angle to say. Yeah, you got some of the bit that you're arguing for. I can see where you're arguing it. I can see where your argument is coming from. But in terms of the solution, some of the stuff that you argue for also does not make sense. So I think that's what I'm saying to you. You're making complicated things look simple, but it's not. That's not how you look at things. You need to look at it from the institutional level. What is, how is affecting the people for you to actually, you need to diagnose the problem properly before you try and fix it. If you try and if you don't diagnose a disease, you try and fix it with any kind of medication, you're going to kill the patient, right?
Okay, definitely, that's correct.
Hold on.
Yeah?
Can we bring up King Kel's point about treaties?
Let me interject to what he said. Listen, you know what? You're right, but guess what? An institution is not an institution without its people. An institution is made up of. So with so you can talk about the culture of the institution is its people. So if they a culture change comes from the change of the people. New generations comes, taste change in those institutions. So that's why I told you right now.
Do you know what? Do you know what? We don't have that much hope in the
Can I
UK
can I
because
say something? Yeah.
Black people, if you
the
stop
report.
cutting me off so I can finish, and then you can fucking talk. So, like I said, so there's an attitude right now that tries to exclude applicants that are Asian and African. So that's why I said you push as many young African and Asians in there as you can, and that will change the culture. The institution will inevitably change, but you have to do that. Other than that, you're just complaining like a hoe.
King Kale.
You finish.
King
Go.
Kale.
Go. Come in next, and whoever want to come in.
Yes, Alda.
You mentioned the word treaty earlier on,
Yes.
and you talked about so just mentioning that word treaty,
Son,
right?
nigga, that's your son.
See, when you
Yeah.
mention the word treaty, it brings in, it makes me think about
Mm-hmm.
sovereign entities dealing with other sovereign entities,
Right.
and which means it appears to me that you're thinking that black people have to see themselves as a sovereign entity and operate in that way rather than trying to fit in to the democratic process or trying to fit into society. Is that how, is that when you mentioned the word treaty, what, is that what you're thinking, or what else was it?
Yeah, well, part of obviously you've read the code of conduct. So the treaty is to kind of start small, to become a sovereign, to be honest with you. Sovereign in the sense of relying on each other. Garvey made it perfectly clear, you know, nationalize your culture for your people only, nationalize your economics for your people only, nationalize your political agenda for your people only. The second principle of Pan-Africanism, as you know, is self-determination. So if we are going to go into our neighborhoods, whether it's the African American neighborhoods or, you know, the neighborhoods of Kenya or Somalia or Nigeria or Jamaica or even in the UK, right, is that we're in each other's neighborhoods to build up the community. So I've got some finance, I've got some wealth, I'm going to create opportunities like shops, etc. and that, right? And then we can build on that to prevent non-African people from capitalizing in the neighborhood. Once we've done that, then you become a sovereign small. And then that's when, as what Dr. Claude Anderson makes it perfectly clear in the blueprint of economics, you know, is that's when you can kind of use the money of the business to, for example, fund the politicians and etc. What America Rifle was saying, but you have to have a code of conduct in order to do that. So starting small of a sovereign, and then it will lead on for us to be a complete global sovereign. If that makes any sense.
Would you agree with that, American First Rifleman? Because that there seems to be
It's just extraordinary gobbledygook. Listen, we're already people in nations, like your nationality, whether you want to deny it. You're from the UK. I'm American. We're black, and we have to work together with black people in our own respective countries. And once we get synergy and we get a groundswell, then we can go and do things extra national or work together with other black people in the diaspora or with Africa. But all this, we need to do this and become a nation within a nation and all that. You don't even have to do any of that. Just literally, all you have to do is listen. All you have to do is have economic power where you are and just work together, and that manifests in different ways. So if you're a black community, you work together and you put your pennies together, you group economics, you're going to already put forth politicians that look out for you. You're going to already have institutions or economic systems where you are that you control. So all this stuff you're talking about, all this stuff and all this, it's nonsense. It's a waste of time.
So, Alda, can you hear the unsynchronization from our brother in America and that? It's very unsynchronized because what he
Wow.
fails to realize, two mistakes he made in that. First of all, he says if all black people were to join the police institution, it's going to change unethical code of conduct. You and I know, Alda, you can put as much black people in there, it still has an ideology mindset of you're going to listen to how we Europeans want the system to be, and you're going to
I just
participate
said
in it.
it
And that,
earlier. I
hold
just
on,
said it
hold
earlier.
on,
But you guys
hold on,
trying to
hold on,
skip
brother, hold on. All due respect to you, brother, all due respect to you, right? So you know that there he doesn't understand. Then he says, right, all due respect to him, is that we need to focus on our own community, but he hasn't addressed that we have our brothers and sisters in Africa, right, that are going to America, going to UK, right, and the non-Africans are using them to cause division with the African diaspora. So what I'm saying
right.
is part of the code of
Right.
conduct, in that in order to create unity, you have to have a treaty that will stop the non-Africans from exploiting both of us. We can build a community, one foot in the African American community if you are, for example, a Kenyan or Somalian, the other foot in Kenya or Somalia country. So what you're doing is you're building up the African American community and building up Kenya and Somalia. What is wrong with that?
Dude, you're talking BS. What treaty are you talking about? Who's signing what treaty with who? In order to sign a treaty, it has to be two legal standing bodies or parties, like i.e. countries. So what you're saying is stupid. It's
This
really
is very This is very unsynchronized. Again, I want our family to hear our brother. Unfortunately, right, he believes, right, that not having solidarity and unity with each other to prevent other communities, because you got the Hispanic, you got the Asians, etc., exploiting the African American community. You got the San people in there building up shops, selling the pork, and exploiting the African American community. And this brother, all due respect here, he's talking about division. Now, you don't understand political science, and this is the problem with our people. You don't understand. You
actually
don't understand,
well
brother.
because
You're not,
why
brother. You're not understand, brother.
I'm involved
Unfortunately, brother, you cannot destroy
involved in
unethical code of conduct without
level.
the African continent, bro. You need the African people
I'm
on the
actually
continent and the African people in the diaspora to
like
go against non-African people to get justice and equality. You cannot separate the African continent, brother. It's the most self-sufficient powerhouse, which is why all non-African people benefit from it, get the weapons from it, and this is why they're prospering. All due respect to learn to be political, my brother. Learn to be more political.
Okay, like I said, I'm actually involved in politics at the county and state level. So I understand politics relatively well. I've campaigned in 4 different campaigns. I haven't run campaigns, excuse me. I've actually helped fundraise in campaigns. So I understand a bit about politics 101. So don't be condescending like that. It's just that my understanding of politics lets me know that some of what you're saying isn't politically viable, and it's crazy. That's why I'm trying to tell you this right now before you go to a bigger stage with more serious people than me. Embarrass you.
Tim,
Brother,
come and explain yourself.
we have already gone to bigger stages, brother. We've already gone to bigger stages, brother. And the thing is, what I've noticed with you, brother, with respect to, you're no different than what the unsynchronized Africans do, brother. You see, synchronized Africans, hold on, from West Africa, who has fought for the liberation, the synchronized East Africans who's fought for the liberation. Hold on, brother. The synchronized South Africans, the synchronized Central Africans, the synchronized North Africans, the Caribbeans and Africa. They never thought this way. They formulated allies, my brother. It's only unsynchronized Africans like yourself, brother, who want division, who believe that we need to separate, and it's not going to work creating treaties when non-African people create treaties every single day. This is why the Chinese have treaties with the Europeans. This is why the Asians have treaties with the Europeans. They all do. But you believe, brother, that we can't have treaties with one another because in your eyes, it is politically incorrect. You have learned from the ice people, and this is why you're failing.
So stupid. What? Who's signing?
Yeah, man, bro, teach them man. Them man, listen, them man don't know nothing enough.
Treaty with
Them
who?
man, this one come apart.
Who's signing what
True,
treaty?
him no know nothing, man. Him come on panel and chat this and chat that, man, and cause some unsynchronization, man. What I'm to him?
Joking,
What
man,
I'm
bloods, like,
You're about to make me smoke weed today.
make him go on, man. Make him go on.
I'm about to blame you, like smoking drugs, because, like, seriously, you're talking about treaties with like who, like what black people are signing treaties with who? Like you, like I'm trying to explain to you. One, a treaty is usually when people have been fighting a war against each other. That's a treaty. But I'm talking. Are you talking about some like trade pact or trade thing, or what are you talking about? You're just saying.
I think he's saying the construction. I think the solution. See, some people see the solution differently. Not from your position. From your position, you wouldn't see the solution. But from this position where I'm standing, I'm going to explain about the word treaty.
Let's stay in the reality. Who's signing what treaty?
Yeah, I'm going to answer the question. I'm going to answer the question. Let me answer the question. The answer to the question that you're asking about treaties comes from the idea that an international black African nation has to be constructed. And when you construct this entity, this black nation, hold it. Once this entity is constructed, that entity can then make treaties.
Where's this nation, sir?
I didn't. You were cracking up. So what was the next question? Hold it. Did I answer the first question? Hold it. Did I answer the first question?
I mean, you said a black nation. Like there's already like 50 something black nations on the planet already.
No. Before that, let's slow down. We're gonna walk through this.
No, I'm talking. We're talking.
I obviously didn't answer the question.
We're talking about treaties.
Yeah. Yes. And what did I say?
You said a black nation's going to be built so the treaty can be signed with another. That's what you said.
Right. So dealing with the specific issue of treaties, a nation. It's a nation. You're correct. A nation signs treaties with other nations. So therefore.
But you already have a nation, right? And that's the UK, right?
Hold it.
I mean, that's
the
UK.
What's the point of bringing that up?
The UK is not a black nation.
That's y'all's nation. Is the United Kingdom, right?
No, the United Kingdom is not a black African nation.
You are already a person in a nation. You're a national of the UK, right? You're a UK national, right?
That is correct. That is correct.
National in the UK, yes.
Nation gonna be built.
Okay.
When he said black nation, American First Rifleman, what he's trying to say is he's talking about black African American, Caribbeans, and black African. That's what he meant.
Asking him what black nation is gonna be built to sign these treaties.
Right.
Okay.
Right. So, at this stage, how do you construct a nation? That's the question. How do you construct a black nation? I couldn't say there's no black nation because Sierra Leone. I think Sierra Leone qualifies as a black nation. Is that correct?
I mean,
Sierra Leone qualifies as a black nation because it's founded on that.
But Alda, the problem with our brother, right, is that he wants us to formulate a paperwork with non-African people. You see, this is the same brother, all due respect to him, that has been on the panel talking about we must sort things amongst ourselves and start relying on the non-African. And I'm saying, because when you understand the word, when you understand the word treaty, which he does, it's an agreement, right? Based upon policies that we can have solidarity. That's all it is. But he wants us to go to the ICE people to have an agreement of ICE people, me and the rest of the Sun people. We're going to have a treaty for us to build one another. Why do you need the ICE people when you can do that in your own community? Brother, you want us to rely on non-African people. This is not good, brother.
Exactly, that's what we're trying to see. American First Rifleman.
an anti-white or racist panel, sir. Call them Europeans, okay? Stop being racist.
This
Is
is
there
not
such
Being
let's watch this. Let's slow this down.
All right,
Okay.
you know, let's slow
When you
this
say
down, yeah.
European, do you believe
Alright.
that
American
there's
First Rifleman, you know what? I would like you to come to the UK one day, bro. Honestly, you haven't been to
Been
you've
to
been
the
to
UK
London.
several times, sir.
Well, next time you come down, make sure we link up. Yeah, make sure we link up next time, man.
Sure,
I'll
you're
bring
gonna
it.
send your kids to slash me up.
No, come on, man. I would never ever do that. You the one that you the one that want to get rid of me, brother. When you come down there, all you're gonna get is stuff,
Niggas
fam.
like stabbing and shooting each other.
Nah, man. You never get that, fam. Not around me anyway. I don't hang around or associate with people
That
like that.
girl that got shot in the brain by them niggas, and nobody could tell. Nobody's gonna tell. But Black Lives Matter, and that Black Lives Matter operative woman got shot in the head, and can't no Negroes come forward to help her bring the perpetrators to justice. Shame on y'all.
Yeah,
Black solidarity.
No,
okay.
but African American First Rifleman. Listen, right? When it comes to certain angle, you know, I'm not far away from you. You know, we already know that because years ago we already been in different platform. We share ideas. I know how you think in certain aspects, but today there are certain things that you brought up today. I'm a bit disappointed because I feel like you're a very clever and intelligent brother normally, but maybe me myself I have had a flux now and again. But I think today some of this stuff you got it wrong. I'm afraid, my brother. You know, I'm not going to support my own people in the wrong.
Ow, what did I get wrong?
I think, you know, it's about you know, denying certain things, the existence of certain things, and
It's tricky.
and
It's hard to
of
say.
certain people.
I didn't
that's-
deny that white people are racist and there were institutions that discriminated against black people. I never denied that.
Yeah. All right. Let me address this. What do you think of this?
Alright.
America First.
To say like it did. That's all
Yeah,
I said.
let me see.
Right,
Let me come at a different angle. Different angle. Watch this. Your position, your argument, is strong because of the position you hold.
It's the right.
And
It's the right.
Yeah, I know you'd say it's the right. Yeah, but I disagree. But let's explore the differences and see what we can learn as we explore. Let's walk through this.
That's why we're
I
here.
have-
We're here to learn, you know,
I
and spread
have-
our knowledge.
Yeah, I have the same difficulty when I speak about economics and finance. There's a lot of people believe that the reason Africa is not doing as good as it should is because Africans are fundamentally inferior in their business practices, and that the market has no bias. It's just the market. And so I, in contrast, say that the market is a construct and it has a bias. And that bias is against those classified internationally as Black and African. Yes? The market itself is white supremacist. Yeah, okay, I know you disagree with that. That's why I brought this up. That's why I said this, because it's the same argument.
I'm gonna get high as hell today. Just y'all would kill. I'm getting really high today because of you.
Yeah. So the reason I said that is that I understand your position.
I
A lot of people disagree with
if
me.
there's one area I would disagree with you on, is the market. You know, these
Do you
people, their only liberal angle in this world, they would do anything, bro. You see that market, bro, is the only liberal side they got in them. That
You
see the market
think
and
so?
sex,
Okay.
sex and sex and money
Okay.
is the only liberal side. The rest of it,
You
bro.
think so?
Yes.
Well,
that's
well, I think. Well, okay. So
but
I'll go
I
up
can see
against
where,
you
I
and.
can see where you're coming from. I know there's
Yeah.
bias. There's bias.
Okay, so
and,
you join
stuff like that, but-
join American Rifleman's team on this. So you two will
Look,
be together.
I'll stay in the middle. I'll stay in the middle. I don't want him to aim at me, bro.
Look, I'm not gonna look. I don't go out and try to hurt other Black people. I actually try to help them learning
Yeah, man,
themselves.
just talking about, bro.
If you ever come to Oregon, I'll teach you. I'll hook you up on how to shoot a AR-15 rifle, sir. So
You know, I only deal with Kalashnikov
other and
going
other.
anywhere, but I just want to leave it as that.
Sir, we have 7x6 2x3 platforms to shoot your MK. So we got that for you too. What I'm saying is I will help train you so you can help yourself and other black people against white supremacists. That's how serious I am. I'm not over here talking or saying I love the white man or whatever. I just understand the white man, and I don't overcorrect on how evil or not evil the white man is. I just know who the white man is. So that's why y'all like getting over dramatic on how what the white man does or did. Or y'all just go all over the place. Like, like look at it as a historian. Like, why y'all try to personalize everything, especially when it comes to like play. Like, okay, I could like as an African American, obviously I understand indignities and things like we've gone through, but I just find it weird as hell that black, and I'm talking about black Americans, but other black people in the diaspora do this, Africans do this as well, where we'll look at the plight of black people around the planet or some other time frame hundreds of years ago and just personalize it like we were there, and I'm saying this because usually that does you no good. Like, I understand the sentiment and I understand having sympathy and a story becoming real and personalized, but it's just like what happened to Africans and their plight other places and stuff like that. Stop letting that affect how you think today, man. Like, just understand it happened and y'all been trying to like personalize stuff with stuff.
My brother, what I'm trying to say to you is, if you come to the UK, you live in the UK at the moment, a lot of the because I grew up with people that from a slave descendant. I grew up with people that have nothing to do with slavery, and today the effect that they all feel is the same. So if they complain, don't bash them because you don't know what they're going through.
However, because it's an excuse, sir.
It's good to advise. No, I listen. I don't complain about it, but I can see why other people complain. Does that make sense?
Sure.
Yeah.
Like I get what you're saying. Like, and you're not wrong, but unfortunately, we used it too much not to take action. We'll use it as an explanation as to why somebody's not doing something or why something's messed up. And then on the back end, we'll say, well, they did this, that's why we're not doing this. That's all that is. It's an excuse. It just seems to me other races of people will write books, they'll have songs, they'll have histories about what the white man did to them, but they're still able to build and compete against the white man. So this is what I'm saying. I understand what you're saying and all the trauma, but it just we use that trauma as an excuse not to compete with the white man.
Not to do the right things, absolutely, and that's people
also
like that
compete with the white man, live up under the white man, and complain about him.
No, that people like that, people are actually trying to do the right thing and they're struggling, but they get in there, and people actually are not doing anything. In fact, if anything, they're busy destroying the black community, and then not only that, they will blame the black person, and then they will go and blame the white person. So these are the problems that we're dealing with. We don't.
When I say separate, and that's why when I say separate, we need to separate.
No, I agree with that. That's the point I'm
talking about. That's the separation I'm talking about. I'm not talking about, oh, those are mean, scary looking black people, or I just don't like black people, so let's separate. Or I disagree with those black people, let's separate. No, that's BS. It's in the tangibles. You literally say you're a Democrat, you love Obama, but if you built a family and a business and you employ black people, you're being a Pan-African. So I'd be stupid to be like, I voted for Trump. I ain't fucking with that nigga. You know what I'm saying? That's stupid as hell. I gotta work with you. You know what I'm saying? But there's other folks like, and I hate to speak ill of incapacitated people, but angry people like Sasha Johnson or whatever, that girl that got shot in the head in UK, BLM activist woman. She had no tangible positive effect for black people, none whatsoever. All she did was stir up rhetoric and populism for nothing, just to be like mad at white people. That's the we need to separate.
Let me give an example. Yeah, you know the city where I live, when it comes to
to separate from them too.
Yeah. So when the city where I live, when this BLM thing was kicking off, right, that weekend, when they brought, I don't know if you had, all the statue that was brought down, yeah, in the world, all the slave statue, which I think it was actually a fallacy. It was a gesture politics, to actually go out there. See, it's like just for the symbol. There's no real act. They went and brought Edward Colston's statue down in Bristol. I was right there when they brought it down, and I looked at it and I thought, right, this is going to cause a big problem in the country. You don't know what you're doing. They brought it down. That divide the country since then. It's not been the country is not actually the same. So BLM not only actually brought more racism, but he actually drive equality and also cohesion. It took it way back. Yeah. So people are going backward. In fact, the younger population, white that is been found to be more right-wing than the older population at the moment in the UK. So that's a shocking factor, because majority of the countries that you live in, the youngers tend to be more left-wing in general, and the older ones tend to be right-wing.
Yeah,
not
and
the case.
On top of that too,
Yeah.
The BLM riots or whatever, they didn't help anybody. They literally made things worse, and also the people that were engaging in that, the police are killing us and all that, they literally did the opposite. Like, they allowed more black criminals to come in and brutalize innocent black. Because that's the thing about when
American First Rifleman. Do you know? I believe
crime, when black conservatives are talking about crime and how it affects people, we're not talking